All right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Welcome to Burning Hammer Wrestling.
Welcome.
I'm Seth. This is my buddy Dave.
Yo.
And, well, first of all, we watched Slammiversary this week, or last week. Well,
yes, we did.
We watched,
and that was awesome.
Sort of we caught the tail end of it, I guess.
Yeah. The last few matches. Yeah.
It was pretty fucking good, man. I enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, so Josh Alexander pins Joe Hendry.
Well,
so we thought that Joe Hendry was going to win.
We thought Joe was going to win. First off, Joe Hendry eliminated Moose, and it was like,
yeah,
the champ's gone. So no matter what, somebody knew was
and
coming.
I thought that was the best way to do that.
Me too, 100%.
Because you knew there was going to be a new champ. I felt like
yeah, 100%.
But,
and it built a lot of, like, it created an energy in the match somewhat early on that made you be like, holy shit, they're really going with somebody else.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go.
the cool thing was, like, all the hype is on Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's where it's at right now.
Not that other guys in the match aren't doing well and getting good crowd support, but Hendry's on this he's just on this rare elevation path that doesn't happen often. He's popping huge right now. For sure.
And so that happens. We're like, oh shit, okay. Well, then initially we didn't even realize. So there was still 3 left, right?
4. There was still 4. There was Josh Alexander, Nic Nemeth, Joe Hendry, and Kazarian. Kazarian.
Okay, because Kazarian was hiding or whatever.
He was like out of the ring when Moose got eliminated,
And so then you got Nic Nemeth who wins eventually, which is great. Because I've been waiting for that to happen.
And it seemed like Josh made a definitive heel turn.
Yeah.
And cheap shot at Joe Hendry out of it to beat him.
Dude, because I even jotted that down.
Which made me think he was going to win. And then he gets eliminated I believe by Nemeth. Or was it Kazarian? I don't know. One of them eliminated Alexander, though. Because it came down to Kazarian and Nemeth, which was awesome.
Yeah, who pinned him? Who the fuck got him out of there?
I can't remember. But either way.
Nemeth had 2 pinfalls, though.
Then it must have been Nemeth.
Had to have been him.
Yeah, had to have been.
So that was cool. Like, I was excited about that.
Yeah, very good. For being what it was, like a 6-man title match to main event a pay-per-view.
Which, like, you never know what's going to happen with those.
And it was very well done.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Sometimes you wonder, like, I think sometimes, like, when I look at 6-man matches, I'm like, oh, they're just kind of like throwing these guys in so they can be on the card.
And
Some of
these dudes mattered.
Yeah. I felt like it was put together well.
Yeah. Agreed.
That show, I thought that show was better than Dynamite's, like, Blood and Guts show, which that was kind of weird. Like, some of it was good, but, like, I thought it was, like, I guess I can skip down to the bottom there. There's the scissors thing. The scissors, dude. Someone was straight up using scissors, and it's like, okay, there's a suspension of disbelief, right?
Yeah.
But, like, when you just stab a guy in the forehead,
it's also
with scissors,
weird. It's a weird thing to do too, because there's a very famous scissor stabbing, or I guess infamous scissor stabbing incident in wrestling between Arn Anderson and Sid Vicious back in the day in WCW, and you're gonna pull scissors out and act like you're stabbing a guy with them.
Yeah, there's been
little weird
stabbing. There's actually been multiple, like, New Jack strange. And shit.
Yeah.
It's like there's some stabbing shit.
That was weird to me. Also, the chair shot. The unprotected head chair shot that everybody's talking about, that was also weird to me.
It was just like
they're trying to say they shave chairs down and then repaint them to make them so it's almost like getting hit by a baking sheet. And if that's the case, I don't know enough to know whether that's real or not. I hope they are, because otherwise unprotected chair shots to the head is a dumb idea.
If that is the case, you will the chair is gonna fucking move, right? Like, it's gonna create. There's gonna be a dent and shit.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know about it.
I don't know. I thought it probably would have exploded if it was shaved enough to be safe.
Yeah,
but
you would think it would fall apart or some shit. But
yeah, either way,
that's like my biggest thing with that was like the suspension of disbelief is like there's a threshold there.
There is a threshold, yeah.
And I don't know. Sometimes hardcore matches don't do it for me.
Yeah,
because sometimes
same here.
It feels like they're trying too hard to go.
Agreed. I've seen some that have been career-defining moments.
Yeah,
for
there's
people,
good hardcore matches. ECW. ECW.
Yeah, yep. In ECW, I recently saw, who was I to? I think it was Shane Douglas was saying that the big reason why the hardcore stuff worked in ECW, or not the big reason, but one of the many reasons, is because it wasn't only hardcore. And you would get to see guys like Eddie Guerrero and Shane himself when he was the world champion.
Yeah.
Shane Douglas. He was like a wrestler. So you had all these hardcore extreme guys like Sandman and Tommy Dreamer and Sabu and stuff, Terry Funk, doing hardcore stuff, but still the main guy that was at the top at the time was a wrestler who was having wrestling matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a good mix. You had Rob Van Dam, who was like, could do hardcore stuff with chairs and stuff, but he was so much more known for being an insane super freak in the
really
ring.
good high flyer and like
he's one of the
striker type of guy.
He was one of the best wrestlers in the world in his prime,
dude.
no question. Super underrated.
He's still up there in like my favorites.
Yeah,
I mean, man,
he is so good, dude. Can't say
everything
enough.
Like you know how we were talking about like wrestling in character or like having a signature like look, that was him.
Yeah,
you could watch a silhouette of
and
like Rod Van, his like him. Spinning backwards kick or whatever, or like
you could just see a black shadow of a guy going like this. You go,
or
I mean, that one's a giveaway.
Or like even
his
just his like leapfrogging over people or something. You can tell
his frog splash was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like you could literally watch silhouettes of that guy and be like, "That's Rob Van Dam." Like that would be a cool thing to do.
I bet we would be having a lot of fun doing.
We should like
silhouettes of wrestlers doing moves with no other context and go
and be like trying to guess.
I bet we could get a lot.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
There's got to be a way to figure that out.
So Slammiversary. Nic Nemeth won the TNA title. It's about frickin' time this dude was a world champion somewhere. He is so far overdue and underappreciated. It's not even funny.
Yep. And it was just great to see it because like, dude, I couldn't stop scrolling through like Instagram because they kept showing like him and like backstage interviews and things like that.
Yep.
Man, it was so cool. He even cut like promos about like how long the journey's been and shit. And it's like he won titles.
He did.
Like
he was a world champion, but it was just such a who cares
it was short, but
throwaway title. He never got to be really seriously treated.
He won
like
minor
a main
belts
eventer.
And shit, but
yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna pull this on my phone instead.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he's definitely won titles and shit. So I
absolutely.
Know. It's one of those things. Like I felt like he needed to get his recognition over there too. You know.
Yes.
And he shows that he can still do it too.
I was just about to say this proves for sure he is a main event level guy.
Yeah.
And you know the thing is where is there space in the main event in WWE right now? There's not. I know that's never been more overcrowded with highest level guys. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a good move for his career to go. I'm a WWE top guy level guy.
Yeah.
And if you have a company and you're trying to build it around me.
Yeah. And now you're just a top guy here because you are going to end up being. Oh, yeah. I mean, they put him right into main storylines. Instantly. Like immediately. Yeah. Instantly. How could you not?
And you absolutely have to. Absolutely have to. And I think TNA was the right place for him, too.
And
because if he went to AEW, he would have been lost in the shuffle times a million as well, just like everybody else is.
Yeah. Yeah. And Josh Alexander looked really good. Like, dude, like, honestly, the match was pretty good. And,
yeah. It was really good.
Like I don't like it's kind of wild because I want to watch more TNA, but I just don't have.
Dude, the match that we started when we were available to get on and we started watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The match we were watching was that what is his name, dude? Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, Mike
That
Bailey.
match was
That was
crazy.
a really good match. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wicked good.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That
was
dude
really
is
good.
the real deal, man.
He is.
Mike Bailey is awesome. For guys outside of WWE, he is phenomenal.
He has gotten pretty big. Like,
he's
wrestling fans know who he is.
Yeah.
So like, and he hasn't
his
ever
style.
worked in, like,
he has one of the best versions of mixing martial arts with a pro wrestling style that I possibly have ever seen.
It's so cool.
It's phenomenal.
He's so fast and like,
you know how, and also I saw to shine him up again real quick.
Yeah.
He just recently did that Bloodsport event that what's his name? Josh, MMA fighter. He did commentary in New Japan, but he's a pretty legendary MMA heavyweight fighter. Pretty smart dude. He runs a promotion called Bloodsport. It's like a mix of pro wrestling and MMA, but it's a work.
I've heard of that.
God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on that guy's name. It's Josh something, I believe. But it's Bloodsport Wrestling.
I wonder if it'll tell me on their wiki.
It's his deal. He created it.
Game Changer Wrestling.
Oh, GCW promotion? No, it's not him, but I thought it was his deal. Maybe it is just GCW that does it, but either way,
maybe.
Mike Bailey did Bloodsport, and he won a match with a head kick KO, it was like a
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett is who I'm thinking of. Yup, that's the guy that I was under the impression created the Bloodsport thing. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
It's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Yeah. So Mike Bailey recently just did that and had a head kick KO for a finish, and it's a work, right?
Yeah.
It was the best looking head kick I've ever seen in wrestling. Like, as far as looking how a head kick, as close as you can get a head kick to look like a real head kick KO in an MMA fight, as I've ever seen.
They just had one the 22nd.
Where's Mike Bailey?
This was the 22nd. It might have been before.
It might have been before, but
there it
is. No, that's Nic Nemeth.
Nic Nemeth versus Mike Bailey.
Yeah, that ain't it.
So Mike Bailey won this match, you're saying?
He won, with a head kick. And it might have not been the most recent one.
Quentin Jackson.
Yeah, look at the guys who compete in this, man. It's a lot of guys that
Josh Barnett versus John Moxley.
That's real, yeah. Doing a worked MMA style match.
Wow, this is wild. I gotta check that out.
We gotta check. Yeah, we gotta watch some of this. Scroll down a little more.
So this is the newest.
There's one. Mike Bailey defeated Akira by technical knockout. It was a fake head kick that looked the most realistic how an MMA head kick would look that I've ever seen in wrestling.
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
What?
Yup. And WWE lets her do this. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's such a cool, unique thing going on.
Who the fuck is Bad Dude Tito?
I don't know, but I'm very interested in that name.
Bad Dude Tito, dude? No way.
That's a great name.
He's in Major League Wrestling.
It's just, there's too much going on. It's so hard to even keep track of.
I had heard about this.
Me too.
I didn't know that they were having
Homicide
these kind of names.
versus Mike Santana. Mike Santana was from, what were they called? LAX or something like that? And they were,
yeah.
And they were just in the inner circle at the beginning of AEW. He's wicked good, dude.
Yeah, okay, I remember this.
Very good.
Yeah, he's...
So was his old partner, who I guess he had an actual falling out with. Ortiz.
Yeah. Oh,
LAX. Yeah. Him and Ortiz.
Working with guys, though. Jericho, Jake Hager.
Him and Ortiz were OG members of the Inner Circle. Which was probably the best faction that Jericho ever managed in AEW.
Yeah,
the first one was unbelievable, dude.
Yeah,
Inner Circle was awesome.
It was.
Awesome.
That's such a Jericho thing, too.
It was so cool, though.
Yeah.
It was so cool. So, yeah. So Mike Bailey was the first fight we saw at Slammiversary, and that's what took us on that tangent. Bloodsport's wicked cool. We should try to catch one of those sometime.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, we should try to catch one sometime, even if we have to watch it like the day after.
It seems to happen pretty often. They did 22nd, and then there was just another one.
Yeah, it's like every few weeks or something. Very cool.
I'm going to look that up and see where you can get it. It's probably on some weird shit, Fight TV or something.
Yeah. It's got to be.
You probably have to pay for it, but there's ways around it.
We'll figure it out. For sure. If we,
there's
you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying we're going to do anything illegal. Screw that.
No, we paid for Slammiversary.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I feel like overall TNA's looking really good.
Yeah, it was presented well too. I thought and it was like the crowd was just big enough. Because this was their big event. Yeah. But like they put it on. It felt like a Raw episode. Like it was big, like that kind of size, which is big for them.
It is, yeah. It felt great. It was a good sized crowd.
I don't know where they were. I forget where they were. Oh, Montreal.
Yeah.
Because
they faked a screw job, which was a little weird.
They had Hebner show up.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. That was in that Mike Bailey match randomly. Yeah. That was a little weird. But it was was done in comedic taste, I thought.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
It was fun though. I didn't mind them doing that.
I thought it was a funny way to like poke at the city a little bit. Be like, give Hebner a redemption arc. Which he was all about. And the crowd popped so huge for that.
They fucking loved that.
When he was like gonna call it a submission and then he's like, I can't.
How did they? Did the ref get knocked out or something?
Yeah,
how did they?
Yeah. There was a ref bump, I think, no. Wasn't it somebody just straight up attacked the ref or yanked him out of the ring or something? But either way, the ref was out. The ref was out, and then Hebner got called down.
Walks down,
and the crowd was like, "No way!" It was perfect. That's what I liked about it. Was that as soon as the Montreal crowd saw Hebner, they're like, "Really? We're gonna do another screw job, but have it be like a worked one." So it was cool to have him be like, "Gotcha."
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. The whole the ending felt a lot like it was Nic Nemeth's like everyone wanted him.
It was his coronation as like the guy.
Yeah, and a bunch of the guys came out from backstage and were in the ring with him. So
his brother and stuff. A bunch of other guys too.
He's got people support him, and he I can't even say it enough on this pod. I feel like this podcast, I'm just like sucking off Ziggler all the time.
You got to understand, dude. He is the most underutilized, underappreciated guy maybe ever. There's a handful of guys that you could say are in the class of like most underutilized, major star level guys that had it all. Promos, in-ring work, character. They should have been used, and they just didn't get used.
Sometimes
for no
I just
reason,
get it's like sometimes you just see a guy who you're like, that guy has it, so why is he not getting? And there has to be some external reason, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Could never really.
He never really had a reason why, other than just he wrestled in the time of other guys like Rollins and Reigns and stuff.
It's probably part of it, but I don't know if he thinks Vince had it out for him or what it was.
Who knows? Either way, super happy for him. As a fan of his for his whole career. At least as far as I've seen him in WWE, except for when he was in Spirit Squad, which I do remember, and I saw Spirit Squad live.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
That's
hilarious. I saw Spirit Squad versus DX in like Syracuse or something off TV, and he was in it. And then after that, when he came out as Ziggler, he was just too good in the ring, man.
Yeah.
He was too good.
I wrote a whole blog post. That's another thing. We started a blog on the website, so you can go there. I actually put it right on the homepage too. So if you just scroll down a little bit, you can see it. And like it's just like a spot for us to like throw thoughts in. You know what I mean? Compile thoughts. And
it's going to be loose. It's probably not going to always be on current events.
I'm not even
might randomly do an article about Bret Hart randomly just because we're thinking about it.
Right. Yeah. I put one about Bray Wyatt. It was just a Bray Wyatt thing, just to put it there. Yeah. And it's also about Bo Dallas and his path to this and everything.
And we'll be bouncing around doing those.
Yeah, I would love to do it.
Probably try to fill in like when we can't do episodes. Or not when we can't.
I was hoping
the time in between episodes.
Yeah, like off weeks.
Off weeks. We'll try to have blog posts up.
But it's a lot. It takes time to write that shit out.
It does. Yeah.
It's like writing a fucking essay. So
yeah, but when it's something that we're passionate about, it's not hard.
They don't have to be long either. It's just.
And we might have other people write for it too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Get other people in on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's on there. And while I'm promoting shit, I'll just say we are brought to you by Dubby Energy.
We are, yes.
You can go to dubby.gg. We'll show you this cool little slide here. You use our promo code, it gets you 10% off, and you get some energy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that.
I have 4 tubs on the list.
Yes, let's go.
I have 2. I got 2 of them because I wanted to try those flavors or whatever.
Okay.
And then I have one for you and one for Jake because.
Yep.
But yeah, they give us a pretty good discount. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they'll give you a discount too.
Use the code. They'll give you a discount.
Not as
good as ours.
They'll
but decent.
They'll get a discount.
I love it. So yeah, what else is there, man? We've got a lot. Man, there's always stuff to talk about. Yeah. I feel like that's TNA.
Yeah,
we covered a little bit of AEW.
Yeah. So the one thing I thought was cool was you had. So Bo Dallas, obviously that whole thing's still going. The Howdy thing's obviously still going hard. But the segment where he comes out and does the Sister Abigail to
the crowd reaction he got when he did the Sister Abigail was how, like, if you think that
he just puts him in the pose,
you're bugging.
Yeah.
He just puts him in the pose and the crowd's like, and goes crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it kind of showed, I think, maybe what his ring gear might be.
I think so.
Sleeveless kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
That's going to be closer to what it was. He did look different.
Man, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, and they're going to have the Wyatt 6 will have a match the Monday after
SummerSlam.
Right?
Yes.
Now this... So I don't know what we're going to do. We talked about maybe doing something after SummerSlam to talk about it, to get it out, because now we're going to put this is going to come out Friday and then SummerSlam Saturday.
Yep.
So then we're kind of missing out on the boat there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sunday, maybe during the day, we can do like a Discord episode and talk about SummerSlam, put that up. Just to get
something out, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to.
Because we're going to have thoughts, and the problem is 2 weeks later, you're going to forget half of them because there's going to be a Raw and then another Raw. Yeah,
so our timing with episodes made it so it's just timely for us to just do something Sunday during the day.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, I think.
I'm down.
Yeah, so then so that was cool, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be interesting.
And quickly, showing the Wyatt 6.
They took their masks off.
With their masks off. So everybody of the 3 guys, Gacy looks pretty much the same. Obviously everybody knew who everybody was. So it confirmed it, but we knew. Gacy looked kind of the same. And then Eric Rowan, he looks great. He looks the same.
He's Eric Rowan.
But Loomis looked incredible. He looked awesome. And I feel like he was kind of the breakout just on looks.
Yeah.
From how dramatic his transformation is to how he looks now. I cannot wait to see that dude in the ring.
Yeah, he's looks like a fucking Viking now. Well, they could have. I think Dexter Loomis's original character could have worked.
It could have been cool. They just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they just couldn't figure that out.
And that's fine. What they're doing with him now,
right?
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
can't wait to see all of them. Can't wait to see him work a match.
They're all working Monday. So
yep. We're gonna see it for sure.
And Gable sold the fuck out of that Sister Abigail.
Yeah, that was an amazing sell of the Sister Abigail.
Gable's
he's so good, dude. And you can't really say he's one of the most underappreciated guys anymore because he's finally getting appreciated. He's not chasing a title right now, but he's involved in a major story.
Yeah.
Where he shines, you know?
Yeah.
I just can't say enough good about like everybody.
It is a good spot, like, because like we were originally when we talked about Howdy debuting, it was like, where do you put him? Because like, is it Jey Uso? Is it? And they kind of teased both. They did with Chad Gable.
They just teased what's her name? Dakota Kai. They just teased Dakota Kai.
Oh, right.
There was like a little symbol or whatever in the back behind her. So we'll see. That might be slower burn, but I'm guessing they're probably going to set up going after her for Nikki Cross.
Easter egg thing there.
Yeah. That'd be a good way to go because she's having the whole fallout with Damage Control and stuff. Well, she's not falling out with them, but Damage Control is kind of all over the place right now.
Yeah. They also actually called Nikki's character sister Abigail.
They did, yeah.
Which was interesting because, like, they were basing it off like Abby the Witch, and everybody was like, "Is that Sister Abigail, or is there gonna be like, is Alexa gonna come back and be that, or like, what's gonna happen?"
Dude, there's rumors that Alexa's training to come back.
I think she is gonna come back, and the way she was talking on Twitter a few months ago, like, leads you to believe she wanted to be a part of that. But I'm wondering if that's gonna be the case now because of this team they've got, but. It's interesting because, like I said before on this show, you can bring her back as just Alexa Bliss, throw her in this fucking women's division that's hot as fuck. She is
awesome without anything to do with the Wyatt stuff. People want her to just because it looked like she was going to be tied to it before.
Yeah,
but I feel like she doesn't need to.
But yeah,
she's already a proven world champion.
I'm not going to complain either way. We just want Alexa Bliss back.
Just want her back. I think she's great, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she has been for a while. And that, so like, speaking of the women's division and stuff, and then you got this whole, so the world title picture is huge right now. It's like branched off into like 4 or 5 different
it's pretty
like
crazy
routes. But you have the love triangle thing, so Dom basically like sides with Rhea,
which was awesome.
Kind of like he goes off on Liv basically.
Yep, finally.
And
jeez,
I'm wondering if like he's gonna turn that around here.
We're gonna find out
on
for sure.
Saturday.
I don't know that it'll be him. I think he's gonna stay sided with Rhea, and that Finn is the one who's gonna join Liv and turn on Judgment Day.
Yeah, I think Finn, like, they've been teasing that Finn is kind of.
They've been teasing it for a while.
But
for sure.
Here's what I would do. I would make everybody think it's Finn, and then redirect and have say it's Carlito.
Oh,
Carlito is the one fucking, because he's been just kind of infiltrated his way in there.
Yeah, it would make sense if it was Carlito, but the only reason I don't want it is only because Carlito's so hilarious.
Yeah.
What he's doing right now, but I get it.
It would be so funny if they were just
it would be logical story wise, but Carlito is so he is the MVP of Judgment Day right now, as far as like just in the background looking like a doofus.
But
it's food,
like it's funny
around.
that the fact that they just like let him in just because he was hanging around him all the time.
And then Rhea's like, why the fuck is this guy here? And they're all just like, oh, dude. We don't even get us started. It's like, so then why is he here?
Yeah,
what?
Exactly.
And then they just don't go near it.
I think that would be so funny. I mean, it's probably not what's gonna happen, but that's like what I would do.
It would be.
I would fucking redirect.
It'd be a good swerve.
I would make them think it's Finn.
Yeah,
like make it all but obvious that it's Finn, and then go, nope,
it's actually Carlito.
He's the fucking mastermind somehow.
Having said that, it seems very strongly like it's gonna be Finn.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely gonna be Finn.
And I think he's gonna screw everybody. I think he's gonna live.
Dude, he's been in main events like over and over.
Yeah,
like,
I think he's gonna screw over Damien to cost Damien the world title to Gunther.
That could be. Yeah, that could work.
That's what I think's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that one is so interesting. Like,
I don't know where they're going.
Who's going to win that match, really? Like, because I can see that going either way. But man,
if you're going to take the title off Damien already,
But it's got to be to Gunther, though.
You got to do it to Gunther, and you got to do it with Finn screwing him, because it protects him. And he's looked great, but I don't think it's the right time, because he keeps having these things that are kind of outside of his control happen, and people are shitting on him. Meanwhile, 99.9% of his work otherwise has been the best he's ever done.
Yeah, he's been really good.
He's been a very believable, great world champion. So I want to see him retain. But
it would be really, really big for him to beat Gunther, though.
It would. It would be humongous.
And
I hope he does.
It's not going to be.
I hope that Bash in Berlin show that they have planned later on is where Gunther wins it.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, just because the hometown. Well, I don't know that he's from Berlin, but the German guy.
The thing is,
winning it in Germany would get a mega pop.
Right.
But do you need it with him?
I don't see this being a long-term feud is the problem.
Me neither.
Like those two, it's working what they're doing now, but it doesn't seem like that would be something you could carry out.
They might even just tease it and have Finn end up helping. Like, have him come out there and it's sketchy. What's he going to do? And he tries to fuck Priest and ends up helping him. And then Priest wins. But now he's like, what the fuck was that about? And so you're just building more tension. So that maybe at like Royal Rumble or something, there can be a screw job of some kind or a turn. To set up for Finn versus Priest at Mania for the world title.
Like, honestly,
There's so
many. SummerSlam is like really gonna be something.
This is gonna be an incredible.
The hype for like a lot of these matches is crazy.
The card is so insane, and the storylines are so good right now, and everything is just so crazy. Like quickly, Cody and Solo. Kevin Owens has been taken out. Orton's been taken out. You can tell they're doing that on purpose because they're trying to isolate Cody to make it like he can't win. It's got to be Roman coming back. If it's not, who else? The Rock?
This is going to be a huge show if that happens.
Huge show.
Then
it's SummerSlam, so it's going to be anyways because they treat every pay-per-view like it's a wicked big deal now.
Yeah.
But SummerSlam especially, they've always said this is our other big one.
Yeah.
Or it's one of the four big ones. Like Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Those are the ones they always try to treat like they're all WrestleMania,
Yep. And it just looks so stacked. Everything they're doing.
It's crazy.
The build has been so good for this.
Yeah, I can't wait. You've got Bayley versus Nia Jax. Looks like it's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. Nia Jax has been doing the best work of her career in all of this.
Yep.
You've got Rhea and Liv has been amazing. Punk McIntyre is like
that alone. That could be the main event.
That could be the main event of the whole night. I don't know if it will be, but it could be.
But they could have just made that fucking. That could have been the headline. I'll tell you right now,
if they open the show with Cody versus Solo, which is not out of the realm of possibility, they've done it before. Open it with the big title match, then it would lead me to believe that Punk versus McIntyre is going to close the show.
I'm wondering what direction they go with Rollins being the guest referee.
I don't know.
Because I'm wondering what the motivation is. Because he's
screwing somebody over to set up a feud.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like he's like leaning one way or the other.
It doesn't.
He's like, I'm calling it right down the middle. He's like straight up saying like, don't. I don't know.
I know.
Because he wants the belt. Like he wants the title
that's
back.
All he's worried about. And neither of these guys are a pathway to it.
Right. Yeah, they're just also contenders.
Yeah.
Well, are they? Well, I guess they are in a way. But
they're high tier contenders.
But it's weird that Rollins like kind of, he can't because Gunther took the spotlight. So now Rollins can't be in that match.
Rollins and Priest both had a shot and blew it. Well, but both had a shot. Punk screwed him. So I'm guessing, if anything, Seth is going to be more anti-Punk than he is Drew, but he hates Drew's guts too. So it's hard to say.
That's why it's so weird. It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Something's going to, they're going to have to
But that's what makes this so good.
Like,
you're sitting here going,
what are they doing with that?
Whatever they do is going to be cool. And the guys that are involved are so good. It's like, I just can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man, that whole card is crazy.
It's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
All right, yeah. Let me look at how long have we done here? We're only half hour.
Cool.
Okay,
cool.
Sweet.
We've got a little bit more time.
I'm through a good chunk of these notes.
Yeah, what do we got left?
Let's see, we talk. Oh, so if we go back to AEW,
yeah,
I was watching Dynamite, right? And
okay,
this might have been the same one, the Blood and Guts one. Jericho is in a match with Minoru Suzuki, and literally, it was probably like as I was watching my DVR thing, I went back to the start of the match because like at a certain point they had been chopping each other back and forth for like nearly 8 minutes.
They try to tell you it's Japanese strong style.
Yeah.
And it's literally two 50-something-year-old guys just standing there lazy chopping for minutes
and it was
minutes.
Straight up like 8 minutes.
It sucks because I love Jericho. It was possibly the worst match I've ever seen.
It was close, dude.
It was, yeah. It was... And I saw like the of course like AEW extreme apologists being like, oh yeah, that wasn't, or what was, there was a WWE match they were trying to say was worse than that, and I'm like, no, stop.
I don't know how you justify
You're
this
being
one.
so delusional if you say that's not one of the worst wrestling matches you've ever seen. Like,
dude, Jericho was straight up bleeding out of his chest.
And all they did was just stand and chop. What is that?
I just don't get it.
If that's something people are into on a large scale, it's just a miss for me then.
Yeah, I guess.
But to me, it looked like one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
That's the biggest thing I hear, too, when people complain about AEW.
Yeah.
Like, the comeback is like, oh, it's just like a different genre. You don't like that genre.
Whatever that style is tough to argue as even pro wrestling.
Don't have it. Just don't have that
just
one.
don't do it.
It's like...
I can understand people that are more into, like, the Osprey... Ricochet style, kind of choreographed, Cirque du Soleil stuff. Not in a derogatory way, but you know what I mean. People say it's like, oh, it's just choreographed gymnastics or whatever. I can give that to a younger generation being into a new style and stuff. That's fine.
Sure.
But two guys just standing, going, for 9 minutes. I don't have it in me, man. I don't have it in me.
And I just could not believe that they were still going.
Yeah, it felt like a rib. It felt like Jericho going, fuck them.
I know, because Jericho
it's Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Jericho. It's like, you know what we should do, Suzuki? Let's just go out and chop each other for 9 minutes to see what happens. Fuck it.
It probably was his idea.
They don't care, because both of those guys are uber legends in the business. Yeah. They don't need another 5-star match, so they're probably like, dude, let's just go rib the audience and chop for 9 minutes. That's what it actually felt like.
It probably was. I wouldn't be surprised at all of Jericho.
I hope. If it
Jericho
was,
should probably come on his podcast and be like,
yes.
I told him.
If it was, then that targets me. But if it's they come out and go, well, it's just a different style, that badly doesn't work for me.
Yeah, that changes
I don't
everything.
buy it. Yeah, I don't buy it. But if they come out and go, yeah, we were just ripping the crowd, fuck them, I would love it. But no, that was tough. That was really tough.
So fucking...
The best stuff I've been seeing in AEW right now has been the Mariah heel turn and the Tony Storm. That feud is just wild.
MJF is really good.
MJF is great.
He's always
that
really
Iron
good.
Man match with Swerve was good. Yeah, that was good. Man, the finish was like impossible to pull off. Close. Mm-hmm. Having it work out like to the second is tough.
Yeah, I think like Dude, MJF has just been always good.
He's
but like
so
every time he's on
consistent.
the mic, you just instantly hate him.
Yeah,
and
he's good.
Everybody hates him, and it's
so is Swerve though. Swerve's incredible too.
Yeah, he is really good.
He's really he's really coming. He came into his own before he was champ and made himself undeniable. But as champ, he's had the right matches to really solidify
for sure.
Quite a memorable run.
Yeah,
as champ. He's been one of the highlights of AEW for me.
Yeah.
Everything Swerve does. The only thing that I don't like is his music, but I'm just not a big rap guy. So whatever. It seems like there's tons of people into it. Cool.
That's why they put the strap on him, though. He's
super over.
Performer.
Yeah, and he seems like in interviews and stuff like that, he seems like he's a really level-headed dude who's very serious about it, and he's the right kind of guy that you wanna bank on a company with a guy like that, you know?
Yeah, and he does everything well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like some guys, like when they grab a hold of the mic, like you know that the shit that they're gonna say is gonna be natural.
It's gonna be He's
like,
one of those guys.
Logan Paul is one of those guys.
Logan Paul
grabs
so
the microphone and you go, he's just going to go off the top of his head, and everything he says works.
It's going to work.
He's very good.
He has it.
And MJF, dude, he grabs the mic and everybody hates him instantly, and it's perfect. He's such a good like power heel, dude.
Yeah.
Great. He's so good. That's a guy, like he's a big name, I think, in wrestling.
MJF?
Yeah.
Very.
But like it doesn't seem like he quite gets people don't talk about him quite as much.
It's the stigma of AEW.
I think it's part of it, yeah.
And it's not even because the talent in AEW is not great. It's the weird decisions they make business-wise and with some of their match decisions, right? Is what is creating it.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer. It's no fault of the talent unless they're being left to their own devices with no control.
And
then it would be the individual fault of whoever's making the decision in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they decided to do a show with 2 rings and a giant steel cage.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm fine with gimmick matches. All right. But like when you start stabbing guys with scissors, like what is going on?
Who is in the back as a producer working with these dudes on the match? Because there's so many guys and it's such a big match, I'm guessing there had to be more than one. Or is there 0?
Honestly,
I think there's producers.
A lot of the match was good. Like there were some really cool spots in that match.
Absolutely.
But dude, like I just like some of that shit where you like for some reason I can't get past the fucking scissors, dude. It's like you stab a guy in the fucking head with scissors. It's not part of the. That's not like thumbtacks. I get like steel chair. I get off the cage
it's a
to a
cheap
table.
shock value thing that ends up backfiring a little bit.
Yeah, it's like somebody
it
had
made
like
sense,
a fucking
and they I get why they thought let's do scissors is because they're the scissor guys.
Didn't somebody use like a pizza cutter or some shit in AEW? Like,
and that's like fucking like what is it? CZW Combat Zone. That's like the shit they do that for 5 people in a backyard.
Yeah.
Let's get light tubes and stab each other with them. And it's like, come on, guys.
There's this thing where, like, where do you cross over?
I get that there's people that are into that, but the amount of people that are into it compared to the amount of investors in your company and advertisers that are going, we're all set forever. Bad faith, we're never touching this again, no matter what they say.
Yeah.
No matter how much they come to us and say, we're changed. Good luck, dude. The number one thing you want to do for your company, if you're a television entity and you want to be profitable, is not piss off advertisers. Because that's where all your money comes from.
Yeah.
Because somebody like Warner Brothers, who you're currently negotiating with, is going to go, how do we make money on you?
Plus, the fucking advertisers you piss off are probably owned by Turner or something.
Yeah, by somebody, you know.
Because it's like 3 companies that run this country.
I hope that behind the scenes they know more than the average fan or the average informed fan knows. And that things are going well for them, and we're about to see a lot of changes in a good way.
I hope so. It just, to me, it looks like they're catering to too small of an audience.
Yeah, they're catering to the sickos. and that's it.
They're like
and
backyard
that's not
wrestling
going to make
fans.
you money. And at some point, somebody who's got the actual money is gonna say, I can't lose this money anymore. You know, at what point does we've talked about it before that it was reported that they were spending $100 million a year in talent contract. I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that number's true. If it is, how many years can you afford to do it if you're not turning over $100 million in profit on the product to fund that talent?
That to me is believable.
It seems it. It seems like everybody there's got a multi-million-dollar contract.
Yeah, because that's how he wants to acquire talent.
Mm-hmm.
Is an easier schedule and more money.
I can think of $20 million in 2 seconds. But MJF probably making over 4 to 6. Okada's making like $4 million.
Jericho.
Sasha Banks is making like $4 million. Jericho's got to be making at least $4 million.
But that's $20 million right there. Offer them
that's
more
5
money.
Guys.
You really just have to pay them what their rate was in their last promotion.
That's it.
Just they would sign with you for a lesser schedule.
And apparently, Buddy Matthews asked for his early release so he could come back to WWE to work with Rhea. And Tony was like, not a chance I'm letting anybody leave to go back to WWE because it looks bad, even though they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to offer you a bucket load of money that you can't refuse. And Buddy said, okay.
Yeah.
And took a huge payday and just stayed.
He also probably would end up just like, dude,
Yeah, he probably would end up lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
I think the guy's great.
And I don't know if WWE, the way it was weird because he was like engaged to Alexa Bliss, right?
Yeah. What do you do with him?
And then he
real
puts
life?
Alexa
No,
Bliss.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Was it Buddy? I thought it was somebody else.
Or
I thought it was
maybe
his partner.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever.
Either way.
Yeah, it was just like a weird, so the way they treated those talents over there was fucking weird in WWE.
Where I'm married to, I'm Andrade and Charlotte's huge, so I'm just a flounder.
And then you have Rhea that just gets married and then they're like putting her in a fucking, in like a fucking love triangle.
Well, that's what I was going to say is what do you do with Buddy? Bring him in and have him come in as her husband and be like, hey, Dom, how you doing, Dom? And feud with Dom? What would have been nasty
you can't do that. Well,
is
I think
having him come in.
I think he was. I could be wrong, but I thought he was engaged to Alexa, and then they put her in a fucking love feud with Braun, and then fucking it was so weird.
That. But either way, Buddy was in a love story with Rey Mysterio's daughter, Dom's sister, before he left because he was teamed up with Seth Rollins. But anyways. That would be the only way I could see using him is to have Dom be the one that's working it. Turn on Rhea and leave her to be with Liv, and then Rhea brings in Buddy. That's the only way I could see it working. But either way, it ain't
It's not gonna happen.
It ain't happening. Love
it's not. It's not gonna happen.
No, it ain't happening because he took a huge payday.
Yeah.
But back to the point of that. So Tony's doing, he screams it's not WCW, but those are WCW moves. I can't have the optics of a guy leaving and going back to WWE because then he says how bad it is here for him.
But it's already happened.
So I just throw him a buttload of money so he shuts up and stays. That's like, you used to hear that stuff from like Kevin Nash and stuff when he would go to him and go, hey, there's a piece of paper on my contract for royalties I'm not getting. What are you guys going to do about it? And they would just throw another $300,000 on his deal to get him to shut up about it.
Or he'd like just probably...
It's the same thing.
I'm pretty sure he would just go in and lie about offers he was getting. And
I think
be
so.
Like, here, and then
because Bischoff, for better or worse, would go, do I have it on the budget? I do. I'm just throwing you more money then. Get out of here, you know?
I think guys would go over there just for
paydays.
Lighter work schedule.
Yeah.
You wouldn't I don't think you have to pay these guys
that's why Ospreay says he chose it. Is because he liked that he could still work in Japan if he wanted to. He liked that he could still live wherever
that's another
he
thing
wanted
is
to.
your contract
lighter
is a lot
schedule,
less restrictive.
Yeah, lighter schedule, more money.
Yeah.
And Tony is obsessed with him, so they're going to treat him like he's the man.
WWE's lightening up a lot on their contracts too.
Oh,
they're letting talent take their names now too.
Yep.
So if you have a name in WWE, you can use it.
Dijak. Donovan Dijak?
Yeah.
He was wrestling as Dijak. He was like on the main roster as something, who cares? Some member of Retribution, trash faction under Vince that just went nowhere and was worthless.
It's called Retribution.
And then he was on a main roster contract for that. So he got brought back to NXT, but he was still on a main roster deal. While he was down in NXT on a main roster deal, he got the Dijak character over and was doing awesome work. He was great. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, when this guy comes up, he's going to be a real deal guy, like a Braun Breaker and a Carmelo, where when he comes up, you go, yup, this guy's the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead they released him. They didn't release him. They just let his contract run out. And he's Dijak, so he's on the indies now working. They didn't have a 90-day clause on him. No compete. So no compete. Right after he was released, or his contract ran out, rather, he's free to work indies. And he's booking stuff. And really he's wrestling as Donovan Dijak.
It's really good for the talent. And I think that is it could be a motivator for guys to come over there too. To go to WWE.
Because you could build a name there and then leave.
Take it.
And actually be able to fucking use
it. And carry it. And there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I was just reading that like a couple of weeks ago that they were allowing guys to do that, which is interesting because like now it's like you could just. It's like if Ziggler would have left a little while ago, he'd still be Dolph Ziggler just working in TNA.
Exactly. Yeah,
which is great because now you don't have to have like everybody figuring out 3 different personas for every wrestler
and then using a name and everyone's going.
Sometimes you look at a guy on Wikipedia and it'll have like 13 AKAs because they've just tried different gimmicks.
Yep.
And then they've worked under their actual name and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesse Ventura was on Raw, but he didn't even do anything on the show. It was so weird. No. They just like had like a backstage segment.
I don't know if he wanted to. Yeah. I'm not sure if he even wanted to do anything.
Oh my God.
Either way, cool to see him in the mix.
Yeah, it was
He should have been the whole time.
Yeah.
Vince hated his guts because he fought for a union. And then when Hogan was like, well, I'm making a ton of money, and if we unionize, I'll probably have to take less money, but everybody else will get paid more, and then the business will be better off for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm going to crawfish everybody and tip off Vince, which is like what happened.
He has a very specific voice.
He does.
Dude, it really is so good, though. It's so good for like wrestling.
I hope he does some stuff.
He's a little bit of a weird guy, but
he's a very weird guy. But in the wrestling space,
600 gallons of potable water in his basement.
Yeah,
and what is it? He was the governor of Minnesota,
dude.
Dude, I love Jesse Ventura. It's so
he just did Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and they had Karrion Kross on to talk to him as Jesse.
That's awesome.
It's so good, dude. So funny.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Jesse's Ventura's a mess of a human, though.
Yeah, he is. Like, it's weird because you see like times where he like goes off and he's right.
Oh yeah.
And then you have times where he's like
so wrong, and you're like,
oh
boy. Right. Go back to the Baja, brother.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I'm just excited for SummerSlam. I think it's going to be sick.
It's going to be incredible.
I can't think of a match on that I'm not interested in.
Because there isn't one.
Yeah.
It's the biggest card of the summer. It always is. But it feels especially energetic
CM Punk
right now.
was like, this is going to be bigger than WrestleMania. It's like,
probably not.
WrestleMania was pretty big, dude.
Probably not, actually.
If
I had to guess, I'd say probably not.
I'm going to say
but it's going to be big.
But Punk is 40, on this card, so of course he's saying that.
Yeah. WrestleMania 40 was quite possibly the best WrestleMania of all time. It was legit that good.
Yeah, I would say it was definitely.
It's top 3.
It is top 3.
In my mind.
X7 is like up there.
Yeah, WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 40, and then maybe WrestleMania 3. The one with Hogan Andre and Macho Man.
39 was really good, I thought. That was
39 was
Rollins,
good.
But that wouldn't be, I wouldn't say
39 with Cody Reigns 1.
WrestleMania 3 is definitely like up there.
It just because of the moment in time that it captured.
Yeah.
Hogan Andre and Macho Man versus Steamboat. But
that
what else was on the card? Off the top of my head, I can't remember. Those are just the two huge ones.
Yeah, but
but they're so
you
huge.
could have made it just those two matches.
People would say that Macho Man Steamboat was the best WrestleMania match ever
it
for
was close.
decades
Until
like Michaels versus Taker won at WrestleMania 25.
They fucking planned that match out to the
to a T. And it was perfectly executed.
They would so I heard this like a couple of weeks ago that they were like quizzing each other.
Yeah. They were like,
weeks
we
leading
are
up
going
to
to
it.
do this perfect.
They were like, hey, what's move fucking 13
or whatever.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy, dude. Like,
and they had it
for finals.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
That's how Macho liked to work, apparently. And, Steamboat's one of the greatest ever. He's one of the most underappreciated guys of all time.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Wicked bad. The real guys know him, and all of your favorite wrestlers are obsessed with his work. But he never was like a major main event world champion guy with a memorable.
But everybody knows that match, too.
Everybody knows a lot of stuff he did. His matches with Ric Flair
that's fair.
are super legendary.
That would be a cool thing to do is rank WrestleManias. But that'd be so hard. It's so hard because
we do it. We got to do it. Even if it's tear jerkers or something, we got to do it.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yep.
I could probably get even the top 3 is hard for me though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, the top 2 are 40 and 17. That's how good I thought 40 was, and that's how legendary 17 is.
Yeah, 17.
But other than that, 20's wicked good. The one where Benoit won the big one.
Yeah.
And, everybody.
I think storyline wise, you got like 40 was huge because of the stories.
Yeah.
I don't know, like 17 was big because of what happened.
The period of time.
The iconic
what the matches were.
Too.
And it was like, to me, the Attitude Era curtain call, like the finale final night of the Attitude Era taking its bow as this legendary era was WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, that's true.
It was the culmination. It was Vince versus Shane in the hardcore match.
They had
was the Hardy Boys TLC
teams.
Hardy Boys Christian Dudleys. Yep.
It
was you had
that match just alone. You fucking have legendary spots.
Angle versus Benoit was on 17, I think. Angle versus Benoit.
That sounds right.
And then you had Triple H Undertaker.
Yeah.
And then you had Austin Rock in the greatest build-up to a title match, maybe ever. You could argue Cody Roman for 40 now.
I would say it's a better build, yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Which one?
The
Cody Roman.
40, yeah.
Yeah. That might be the best build to a title match
because
ever.
it wasn't the planned build.
No. Nostalgia's going to tell you Rock Austin 17. But
sure.
Cool. Now let's put that away after 5 seconds of a nostalgia pop and talk about actual how good was it, Because they built Cody Roman for like almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they built Austin Rock for a few as well. Like they main evented 15.
Yeah, and it was a rematch.
But the true build started about a year prior.
Sure.
With Austin coming out on Raw and starting business with Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably have to watch. Like, you can watch.
There's a YouTube video online.
Like, yeah,
that's
like
just the build to 17. Yeah.
It's like,
So I will say this. The main event of 17 had the better video package. That video package with Limp Bizkit, like that is that's the best video package
at the end of the show too, when it just does that, and dude, you're like, oh my god, this show is awesome.
And the end, back then, and I don't know why they don't do it anymore, and if they do, maybe I'm missing them, but back then the like as the matches are happening, they're cutting together a conclusion video package. And at 17, after that match ended, they did a video package covering all of the story and the big moments from the actual matches of 17. And that video package is like the greatest video package of all time. It is.
I have to watch it every time.
That was the curtain call bow of the Attitude Era. You know, that was them taking a bow, so to speak.
Limp Bizkit, dude. Oh my God.
I know. So random. Okay.
All right,
how far in are we?
We're probably an hour or close to.
Okay.
Oh, wow. We're like right on an hour here.
Okay, cool.
All right, we're going to split it.
Yep.
I'm going to be transparent about that. We're going to do a second episode. We're going to bank it so that when we miss a week or something, it'll come out. We're going to try to not talk about anything that's
current. Just talk about random stuff.
That last topic would have been good for that, but
it's okay.
I got more.
We got plenty.
We'd probably go
if we're not doing current events, we could go for oh my gosh. We'll go forever.
Thank you guys for watching. Go to w.gg. You get your powder, your energy, your caffeine, and go to the website. Check out the blog.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
have
know
links for all that stuff.
We have our official website now. It's our own website.
Yeah.
So you can go to burninghammerwrestling.com. All the stuff's there. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.